Welcome back to LoveBabz, Love Talk. I'm Babz Rawls-Ivy. I had to go get me some ice water. Oh, smoked cigars last night, so I got like that cigar voice, right? Deep. All right, good. I don't even know what I was talking about the last hour. Gotta turn around. I can't turn around. I got all these screens. Live radio is live radio. It's fun, but it's challenging when people are looking at you do live radio. Don't worry, word on the street will be back at some point. Don't worry. Get into it. We'll get into it. We'll get into it. We'll get into it. I don't even know what I was talking about when I left because I was so focused on getting some ice water. I was so I was so focused on getting ice water. I just need some ice water. And it's not even as cold as I want, even though I put ice in it. Sometimes you have to put the ice in it and let it sit for a little bit and let it like, chill the whole thing. And yeah, you gotta do that. So uh, I think it's gonna be a rainy weekend, which I think I need. Because I'm one of these people, if it's a nice day, I cannot stay in the house. Are you like that too? I'm like that. If it's a nice day, I want to be in the streets, even though I have stuff to do, even though I have commitments. If it's a rainy day, I might go one errand, but I'll be back. So rainy days always just give me license to like be in. And I don't mind being outside on a rainy day either. So there's that part. Ife is having her family reunion on Saturday, so I hope it doesn't rain so they can have a good time. But where they're going, if it rains, there's stuff to do inside. So uh, I admire her family reunion. People who have family reunions. My friend Ron Thomas, they have a big family reunion too, and it spreads over like several states. That's how big theirs is. And, my brother's wife, my sister-in-law, her family, they have a big one too down south. My family was we always had cookouts and stuff, but we never had formal um uh family reunions. And I think it's because we didn't really like each other that much. And I loved them, but um my mother and her family, they were just close knit anyway. And so they didn't really rock with their cousins like that. The way that I rocked with my cousins were my friends, right? And we're in a family chat group chat now because they live all different parts of the country, my cousins, on my mother's side. I don't know much about my father's people. They just was trifling people. And I never spent that much time with them. I always find them to be troublesome and troublesome. So I never got to spend any time. I spent time with them, but not a whole lot of time. Like I was never close to them the way I am close to my mother's side of the family. Because my father's side of the family, it was just wild and unruly, as memory serves me. As memory serves me, and they've got proclivities for things that I just don't have an appetite for, and I hope I never do. And so I never spent that much time with them, seriously. So I always admire people that can gather their family. I think the last time we gathered was my Aunt Betty's funeral. That was the last time we gathered. Um, and then most of us gathered for my nephew's passing. My nephew Duda, who still hurts to this day that we are not in the same realm of consciousness and being together. Just much. And if it's hard for me, I know it's hard for my brother. That was his son. I watched him raise that boy, and Yeah. So anyway, family reunions are a good thing if you can gather your people. Though it's stressful and it's like a wedding. People are crazy. Once you get there and you see everybody and you hear stories and people reveal things and tell you things, because it always happens. Somebody reveals something or tells something or shares something. It's a beautiful thing. So, to all the family reunions that are happening this weekend, peace and blessings, folks. That's a wonderful thing because life ain't promised to tell you, and we we get examples of that every single day. How this life is not promised to us, and we have to make many good choices as we can while we can. We will find ourselves on our last breath saying, "Damn it, I wish." Oh, how I wish I could, or whatever. I tell you something. I'll get on my deathbed. I want a good ass cheese pizza with all the things on it. I mean, if I'm gonna die, I might as well. And a strawberry milkshake. All the things that I couldn't eat on this side of the world, on this side of life, I'm gonna go to the next life eating. Not everything, but a lot of things. Yeah, that's all. So it's summer. It's I think it's gonna be another nice day today. Hot. I think it's already 81 degrees. It's only 10, not even 10:30. So it's already 80 degrees outside, which is nice. I kind of like it. I have to go see the cardiologist when I get off air. And my cardiologist likes to fat shame, but I lost a little weight, so maybe that'll shut his ass up today. Won't, won't say stop eating or push away from the table or I think I've lost enough weight from the last time I was there. So he'll be pleased about that. See how it all goes. And then that's it. I had to go buy the paper. I got to do a few things. Um, see. Yeah, I got to call them back. I'll go do that and then go grocery shopping. Ife and I are gonna go over to Nor Vintage. Do that. I'm gonna go get some groceries. Then I'm gonna go to RJ Jr. this evening and hear Victoria Christopher Murray and her co-author talk about this new book, the First Ladies, and I'm looking forward to that. And then that'll be my night. And then to Thursday, I have a meeting on Thursday. A bunch of meetings. Bunch of meetings. I guess I'm not tired. I just don't like meetings. But that's all right. They're to my benefit, I guess. And then it'll be the weekend. Happy birthday, Harry. Your birthday is Saturday. Do you have plans? What are we do? What are we doing, Harry? Are we doing anything? Are we having a party? Are we making cake? What are we doing? Coquitos? What are we doing? Harry's birthday is Saturday. I know he probably thought I didn't know. It's Saturday. So looking forward to it. Yeah, the 15th. So I know he's trying to act like he don't hear me. Well, he's probably over there talking to the LoveBabz people. His birthday is Saturday. And if anybody in that office is listening in, Harry's birthday is Saturday. Just put it in the WNHH chat. Say Harry's birthday is Saturday. Just saying. So I don't know what he's up to. Gotta, done so much. Got a new knee. That means he might be able to do a little bit of electric slide. Get into that, a little salsa dancing. Bring Karen in town during the week. Y'all could go to Alicia's salsa class. I'm sure you don't need a class, but it's a full-on party. I think on Wednesdays in the Westville. That would be nice. So I'm just not sweating anything. I have to make a decision whether or not I'm going to Maine, because they called. I go, dude, I gotta make some decisions if I'm going. Oh, I mean, I could do my show from Maine, it's not a problem, but I don't have a laptop, and they've not called me to tell me if my laptop is ready. I'm gonna give them a few more. I'm gonna give them another day, and then I'm gonna call them up. Say, what's happening? Happening with my laptop? See, I my laptop. I gotta study. I got work to do. That reminds me. I gotta study from my desktop, and I gotta study from my desktop in my office. The pain. Oh my God, it's a pain. But my laptop is like carry and go. I could be anywhere. My desktop, well, tied to a desk. This one went over there at the office. So I got to figure that out. So we'll see. Let me see what else is going on in the world. I see the NATO summit is happening. The Ukrainian president Zelensky, is that it? He's softening his tone a little bit about getting into NATO. Because I did that whole reading of how NATO was started, who's in it, and they've been trying to get into NATO since 2010, I think. Them in another country, and they and the pushback has been, we got you. You get in. Don't worry. Just it takes some time. There's no timeline for these things. Like just essentially just like stonewalling and gaslighting, right? Because I think honestly, somebody saw the writing on the wall about Putin and what he was trying to do, particularly with a country like particularly the countries that he's already marched down and want to march on. Because Poland, don't you think for one moment that he's not trying to march on you too? But Ukraine has given them such a hard time, and I really think that Putin thought the world would just fall off from being concerned about Ukraine. Because the world's attention span is like a nanosecond. And so I really think he thought, I think after he initially thought, I think he underestimated the fighting power and fighting spirit of the Ukraine people. That's number one. I think he underestimated the president and his fierceness and his leadership. And I think Putin just got in over his head. And I still think he's in over his head, because you're fighting a war that you can't afford and that you're not winning. So, he's not, and the world has tried to give him an off-ramp, and he just kept blowing past it. So I don't know what the off-ramp is. I don't know. Does he get so incensed that he says, I'm just going to go nuclear on these people, because what to pull your people, and now your mercenary cats, and your mercenary cats are your frontline cats, right? Because your military ain't strong enough, so you gotta pay for these mercenaries to come in and fill in. And since they turned on you, what does that say? So that says to me there's some vulnerabilities. I'm no no diplomat. I'm just a little old black lady sitting at home watching stuff play out across news cycles. But from where I sit, you know, you're gonna have to just suck it up and pull out, because you're not gonna be able to keep this up. And guess what? Those mercenaries that you paid, somebody else paid them more to march on Moscow. And the fact that they didn't march on Moscow says to me that the people that funded them say, hey, don't go that far. Don't go that far. Because mercenaries don't work for their own good. They're not like, oh, I'm going to put my own money in this and march. Hell no. They work for people. And there's a lot of people that have an invested interest in Russia, getting out of this foolishness. And Putin's got to be thinking, my damn days are numbered. My days, I hope he's thinking that way. He'd be a fool if he didn't think that way. Like, any minute now, somebody gonna roll up in here and strong arm me out, because you can't sit in power forever. So the rest of the world is worried about that piece, right? Because, some of the world, the people that are paying him, they already know who they want in power. Not him. The people that are paying the mercenaries, they already know who they want in power. I'm convinced they already know who they want in power. And Putin. I don't know if anybody in Russia is listening to me, but I'm telling you, you on your way out, sir. And if I were you, I would figure out a strategy to buy you some time to get out of this war. Because if you still want to be the leader, you got to pull out of this, because your mercenaries have already turned on you. They've already turned. And you don't got no more mercenaries that you could pay to go kill those mercenaries. I know there's no honor amongst thieves. I get that. But I don't know what mercenaries you're going to pay when your tried and true mercenaries done turned on you. And these are your people. These are the ones you have great faith in. They get the job done wherever you send them. They get it done. But who are you going to pay to go get them? You can't. And who's to say that the guy who's leading the mercenaries didn't already say, listen, I got you. I got some money. You got some money. We'll pay you. Come on our side. But, we ain't seen that cat in a month. So I don't know. Some say he's in St. Petersburg. Some say he's, I don't know. He could be in the south of France for all I know. Sunning at Cannes. I don't know. I do know when people disappear from Russia, they disappear for real. So I don't know. I'm just saying. This is just where I sit. This is diplomacy from where I sit. So if I'm you, Putin, I'd be like, I gotta buy some time, because they're coming for me. And they are, and that's the writing on the wall. I never thought they was gonna march on Moscow. I don't care what the news people say. Oh, they just got 100 miles away from Moscow and then they stopped. He called it all. I always thought that was just a clear message. The next time, we not stopping. And they could say, they could show all the little videos they want of a meeting between Putin and this cat from a month ago, whatever. I know they like propaganda. They like all that stuff. And God help the Russian people. They are just, is it my Western eyes? Are they just that gullible? Like they're like Trump people. Like they go for what is told for them and just swallow it. Is that true? I don't know, because every time I see the resistance in Russia, they always are killed. They don't have no problems killing their own people. They just kill people. Journalists and their own people. And I would ask the question, how long can you keep that up? It's been working for them forever and ever and ever. But it's not a big deterrent as they like people to believe it is, because every so often you get a journalist or somebody who pops up and speaks out or whatever, or who wants to run against, because courage thrives on somebody oppressing you. So you rise up, no matter the cost, no matter the time, no matter the hour, you rise up because you can't stand the treatment of your people any longer. And so you say, if I got to lose my life, whatever, they're going to talk about this for a minute and then they'll shut it down. But there'll be more after me, more and more people after me who want some freedom. So I don't know what to tell you. I just think the writing is on the wall. And so all these people meeting up at the NATO summit, having these conversations, and I get they can't have Ukraine come in now while they're in war, because then they'd have to get involved because, it's the Three Musketeer code, all for one for all. So if you part of us, then we gotta have your back. And so when they have your back, they can't do it while they're in the midst of a war, right? Because now everybody got to get involved. I mean, you're already involved, which is ridiculous to me. You're already fighting this war. You're already fighting it. And please don't tell me. I know there's some American citizens and some other Army cats and other countries, military people on the ground helping. They gotta be, has to be. Too much is at stake not to help them. They got to be trained how to use all this stuff that the world is sending them. The stuff we send, the stuff other people send. They got to send people in to train them on that stuff. You don't send it like an IKEA box all wrapped up and the instructions. Oh, here's how you put it. Here's how you need an Allen wrench to put this tank together. No, that's not how that works. You got to send some cats over there that can train. And if they're military people already, and I know Ukraine pulled together some cats, men who just want to fight, but they still got to be trained. They got to be trained. They got to be trained how to use the equipment and all the firearms and all the stuff. So I know people are on the ground over there. It makes sense. The world is messed up. We're just in a crazy place. But I believe we were built for this moment. And every one of us that is alive, we were meant to be alive in this moment. So I have every faith that there are people who will prevail in working for peace. I believe that. I don't know what else to believe. If I don't believe that, I believe nothing. If I don't believe that, I believe nothing. So there are people who are working for peace and trying to broker peace. And I'm sure there are forces that are in Putin's ear talking about a strategy of how to get out of Ukraine. I'm sure. Now, he's got to be in public saying, fight, fight, fight. We got to just fight to the death and fight, fight. But I'm sure in the high level meetings, okay, how we get out of this? How do we pull out, save face, and still look like we won? How do we come out of this looking like we won? Because that's all that matters at this point. How do we come out of this looking like we won? And if we could get Ukraine to give up some part of Ukraine. Now the president has already said, hell to the no. I'm not giving you no piece of land, because the Ukrainian people will never feel comfortable being occupied by Russia. We just won't feel comfortable. So we're not conceding any bit of land to y'all, not an inch, not a mile, not a foot, right? So I get it. So that might be off the table, because that could have been the saving grace right there, right? Like, well, if they agree to give us some part of Ukraine as back to us, we'll march out and we say we won. But the Ukraine people were like, hell no, I don't care. You ain't won. No, we're not giving you no land. We're not Crimea. We're not doing that. You're not going to march on us. We're going to fight you. Little old ladies and grandmas, we're going to fight you. We're going to feed you and we're going to fight you. I don't even know what the hell they are doing. So there's got to be another strategic option that says the same thing, that yes, we won and we're pulling out. It's got to be another option. I don't know what that is because I'm not diplomatic friendly like that. I don't know what could be another option, that says, listen, we won, but everybody in the world knows they didn't win and is not winning, but what can you do? So I'm sure all the diplomats around the world are working diligently on this. I know the Russian diplomat to the United States, I think, didn't he like leave in a huff? I'm like, I don't know if you want to do that, bruh. You need some support. I know you got to carry the party line. I know. But y'all Russia's in a bad place. And while they have some allies, the other dictators of the world, they're not going to make a move. They're not going to make a move because they don't want the world wrath. China, they don't want that. They don't want the world's wrath on them. India, India don't even want to join NATO because it's like, it was not in our best interest. Why ain't it? So you'd rather just be in the world on your own? So I don't know how much help they could be to Russia. And I'm sure they are secretly sending money and ammunition and all the other stuff too. I'm sure they're doing that too, backdooring it, and covered wagons and stuff. I'm sure of it. But they're not going to publicly be like, we stand with Russia. They're not going to, who's going to do that? Nobody. Because they don't want that smoke from the US, the UK, and everybody else. So, and listen, second to us, Turkey got the biggest army, so the biggest military. Second to us. So you don't even want to get on Turkey bad side. So I'm just like, hey. So I'm sure somebody somewhere sitting in the room trying to figure out an exit strategy. And the exit strategies could simply mean another distraction somewhere else in the world so that Russia could quietly pull out. You know what I mean? That would make sense too. And then he could just tell his own people we won. Because they're not going to question it. Because there's no questioning in their country. So he can say whatever he wants and everybody will be like, okay, and then go about their business. So if you could find another diversion in the world that's comparable to this foolishness in Russia and Ukraine, and Russia could pull out, and then they could just save face with their people saying, well, we won and we're bringing our armies and military home. And then they're not, what are they going to do? They're not going to question that. They're not going to ask, well, what did we win? Are you kidding me? They're not going to ask that question. So there's that part. So what else in the world could happen that could make us turn our attention from Russia and Ukraine, that could get Russia to pull out and save face with their people, could say we won to their people and not really care that the world sees them as not winning? What? I mean, right now, Sudan is having is it a civil war? Is it another civil war? They're fighting. And aren't they in a drought situation, in a famine situation? How are you fighting with no food and water? But okay, whatever. I'm like, just sit there and wait a few minutes. Everybody will be dead. What are you doing? These dictators, man. Dictators. Everybody wants to be a dictator. Everybody want to grind their own people to the ground. For what? Oh, what? Why? For some crazy, idiotic mission of, oh, I don't even know what do the fighting factions want in the Sudan? What do they want? What do you want? You want a big car? You want a big weapons? What do you want? Are you trying to feed your people? Are you trying to make better lives for you? No, you're just killing each other. For what? So that the colonizers will bring their asses right back and take over your whole country. Oh no. Wake up, everybody, no more sleeping in bed. No more backward thinking, time for moving ahead. Oh, the world. And meanwhile, back here in the good old US of A, have we had another gun shooting lately? I see one of the Manson people is is getting out. Got to live in a halfway house, a detention center for a year to be a free woman. Then what, 53, 54 years behind in prison? I thought she was going to spend her life there. That's a tough one because there are family members that are still alive. And in 1994, Diane Sawyer had an interview with her, and she talked about, her role in the murders. And Charles Manson is dead, so, but there's still crazies that are loyal to that kind of foolishness, But so she's gonna get out, and then she got to get a job. She was like 19 years old. Gosh, I don't even know how hard it was. I can't even imagine. I don't even know what that's like, and if she'll ever be able to get a job. And I'm sure. I don't have any. I personally don't think they should have never gotten out of prison, but that's just me. But she was remorseful, and so if the prison system says this is what is required, then she served her time, then she should get out. But I feel for the family too, because their loved ones that were murdered ain't getting out of the grave. There's no getting out of the grave for those people. You know what I mean? Like, there's no getting out of the grave. So it's a hard thing. I'm glad I'm not in the midst of any of that, because it would be just painful to have to deal with that. And for 50 some odd years, they rest assured that this woman was in prison. Now she's about to get out. And so I can't imagine the anxiety that must cause them. So anyway, tomorrow's Wednesday. I'll be back. Y'all have a good day. Have a good time. Enjoy Wednesday. Taking some sunblock, drink some water, and don't be stupid out there.